Hello. This is Cosmic Charlie once again, and I've got an alien message to mankind. Do you wish that we show up? The following is accredited to Joe Martino, him and his crew of researchers. Hey Joey, how you doing? And he offered us all this, him and his crew and a bunch of others, researchers looking for the answers, not dismissing just anything, really looking into it, getting to its roots and doing the best we can to come up with truth, especially in existence and humanity. Anyway, on September 12th, 2017, just a few days ago, Joe Martino and his crew, made all this information available to us. And I, in turn, do what I do to maybe put it on video so that you all have access to it. Joe Martino does have a website, dash evolution, collective-evolution. That's his website. You're welcome to go into it. And, Joe's doing Jonas. People are, they're all part of the same thing, but him and his crew, here's what they got. Listen, we're about to dive into a transmission or channeled message that allegedly came into a man by the name of Gene Edelman, aka also known as Eric Julian. Now, Gene had been practicing projecting his mind when he came in contact with what he called benevolent ET beings. This is when he received the message. No, we will refer to him as Eric from here on out. Before we get into the message, it's important to dive into a background about Eric. Attempts to determine who he really is and whether or not his background can be considered credible. Either way, even as we move through this information, we strongly suggest you use your own intuition on this to explore. Blind denial doesn't do us good in the same way that blind acceptance doesn't. A few quick things to get out of the way right away. The reality of remote viewing, astral projection, channeling, and the existence of ETs. There is a ton of credible evidence exploring these topics at a black budget and military level. These abilities are used, and millions have been spent exploring them within the U.S. military. You can learn more about CIA remote viewing programs here, the military use the study of psychic abilities here, and more about ET and the documents to prove the reality of them in a groundbreaking film here. Okay, with those resources laid out to help open up to the reality of how all of this is possible, we can continue with an open mind. I find it important to lay out those resources beforehand because, quite simply, most people do not realize that all of these abilities or pseudoscientific frauds are actually very well studied, documented, and real. In fact, it's likely that the tax dollar paid for the extensive study and training of these very abilities. Now let's get back to Eric's story. Eric claims to have been a military jet pilot, air traffic controller, and airport manager, and holds a master in electronics. He states that since the age of 6, he has been having experiences with ETs and UFOs. Eric has published a book called The Science of Extraterrestrials in 2008. Well, 2006. That work was reviewed by a number of ET and UFO researchers, and it obtained high regard. As a pilot in the military, he claimed to have contact with extraterrestrial technology, including piloting an ET crash. A prominent UFO researcher named Michael Sala had this to say about Eric's book and work. And this is in quotes. A number of prominent French research scientists have reviewed his book and thought very highly of it, and concluded that it is not a plagiarized work, which was one of the initial criticisms leveled against him. I have read one of these critiques, and it is clear that the author, who was initially very skeptical, was impressed by Eric's work. Over time, Eric has gone on to speak at a number of ET and UFO conferences and has shared interesting accounts. He claims to have been involved in regarding ET and ET technology. The style of the message. There are a few keynotes to look at when exploring the channeled message below. The style of the message is deliberate and with purpose. It is not dictative or condescending. I'm having a little demonic fucking interference over here, folks, so it happens all the time. But they look so innocent in their human bodies. As far as the style of the message, it is typically seen when people are attempting to inform as opposed to pushing beliefs onto others. The choices for how humanity deals with the challenges it currently faces is left as a choice for humanity, as opposed to a dictation of precisely what to do. This is in alignment with many other messages that allow for spiritual growth and evolution of a species to take responsibility for where they are and empower themselves to make a change, as opposed to waiting for someone to save them. This is an important note. The overall text is coherent and intelligent, drawing on a number of difficult challenges humanity faces, and does not seem to contain any self-bolstering or ego gratification tactics that other messages often contain. On a final summation of the above, regardless of whether Eric's story is a fact or not, the message below still provides great value to us. I say this because we cannot know for certain whether or not he did channel this message, but we have the control and power to take value from the message. I wanted to put nice in you. Sorry, I'm kind of busy with this. I can't waste time on all the bullshit.
I just want one question.
Yes.
Do you know if Timber's in the red band?
I don't know. I'm not out here. I'm over here doing what I got to do. I'm not, paying attention, and I'm sorry to say that.
That's
I don't know. Have a good one. I don't know. I don't even know he's out here. See what I'm saying, folks? It's a constant. To think that these things don't exist is messed up. It's, I don't know what to call it. It's just incredible. I want to continue with this. A channeled message is only valuable when we decide what to do with the information and act upon it from within. In quotes, we are not merely observations, we are consciousnesses just like you. Our existence is a reality, but the majority of you do not perceive it yet because we remain invisible to your senses and instruments most of the time. We wish to fill this void at this moment in your history. We've made this collective decision on our side. But this is not enough. We need yours as well. They're saying here that humanity must be open and asking for ET communication if we want it. A great roller wave is on the horizon. It entails very positive but also very negative potentials. At this time, wonderful opportunities of progress stand side by side with threats of destruction, referring to the shift in consciousness taking place. We are set to see men, women, and children suffering to such a degree in their flesh and in their hearts when they bear such an inner light. This light can be your future. Our relationships could develop in stages. Several stages of several years or decades would occur. Demonstrative appearances of our ships, physical appearance beside human beings, collaboration in your technical and spiritual evolution, discovery of parts of the galaxy. There are plenty of memorable moments in the text below, but those are a start. Listen further and enjoy. Eric writes, after having learned how to mentally project myself to a place in the presence of benevolent extraterrestrials, I received the following message. This channeling, by the way, was translated from French into English by Dan Dwassin. That's a Marine-based filmmaker, Marin County, okay. Marin-based filmmaker and researcher. And to begin the message, each one of you wishes to exercise your free will and experience happiness. Your free will depends upon the knowledge you have of your own power. Your happiness depends on the love that you give and receive. Like all conscious races at this stage of progress, you may feel isolated on your planet. This impression gives you a certain view of your destiny, yet you are at the brink of big upheavals that only a minority is aware of. It is not our responsibility to modify your future without your choosing it. So consider this message as a worldwide referendum and your answer as a ballot. Okay, neither your scientists nor your religious representatives speak knowledgeably about certain unexplained aerials and celestial events that mankind has witnessed for thousands of years. To know the truth, one must face it without the filter of one's beliefs and dogmas, however respectable they may be. A growing number of anonymous researchers of yours are exploring new paths of knowledge and are getting very close to reality. Today, your civilization is flooded with an ocean of information of which only a tiny part, the less upsetting one, is notably distributed. Bear in mind that what in your history seems ridiculous or improbable has often become possible. Then realize, in particular in the last 50 years, be aware that the future will be even more surprising. You will discover the worst as well as the best. Many of those who study our appearances, point at the lights in the night, but without lighting the way. Often they think in terms of objects when it's all about conscious beings. You know, who are we? Who are we? Like billions of others in this galaxy, we are conscious creatures that some call extraterrestrials, even though the reality is subtler. There is no fundamental difference between you and us, save for having experienced certain stages of evolution. You know, as with any other organized society, a hierarchy exists in our internal relationships. Ours, however, is based upon the wisdom of several races. It is the most approval. It is with the approval of this hierarchy that we turn to you. Like most of us, we are in quest of the supreme being or state of being. You know, therefore, we are not gods or lesser gods, but virtually your equals in the cosmic brotherhood. Physically, we are somewhat different from you, but most of us are humanoid shapes. We are not mere observations, we are consciousnesses just like you. Our existence is a reality, but the majority of you do not perceive it. Yet, because we remain invisible to your senses and instruments most of the time. You know, we wish to fill this void at this moment in your history. We've made this collective decision on our site, but this is not enough. We need yours as well. You know, through this message, you can become the decision makers. You, personally, we have no human representatives on Earth who could guide your decision. You know, you wonder maybe why aren't we visible? At certain stages of evolution, you know, cosmic humanities discover certain scientific principles regarding matter. Structured dematerialization and materialization are among them. Your humanity has achieved this in a few laboratories, you know, in close collaboration with other extraterrestrial creatures, at the cost of hazardous compromises that remain purposely hidden from you by some of your representatives. You know, in addition to the aerial and space-based objects and phenomena known to your scientific community as physical UFOs, there are essentially multi-dimensional manufactured spaceships that possess those expanded capacities. You know, many human beings have been in visual, auditory, you know, tactile or psychic contact with such ships, some of which, and it should be noted with caution, are under the influence of hidden powers that govern you, which we often term the third party. You know, the relative scarcity of your observations is due to the dematerialized states of these ships. Being unable to perceive them yourselves, you cannot acknowledge their existence. We fully understand this. You know, when most observations do occur, they are arranged on an individual basis so as to touch the individual soul and not to influence or intrude on any organized social system. You know, this is deliberate on the part of the various races that surround you, but for a variety of reasons and results. The negative multidimensional beings that play a part in the exercise of power in the shadow of human oligarchy, discretion is motivated by their desire to keep their existence unknown. For us, discretion has been motivated by the respect of the human free will that people can exercise to manage their own affairs so that they can reach technical and spiritual maturity on their own. However, humankind's entrance into the family of galactic civilizations is greatly expected. We can appear in broad daylight to help you attain this union, but we have not done it so far, as too few of you have genuinely desired it because of ignorance, indifference, or fear, and because the urgency of the situation did not justify it. You know, who are you? You are the offspring of many traditions that throughout time have been mutually enriched by each other's contributions. You know, your goal is to unite, while respecting these diverse roots to accomplish a common purpose, a united project. The appearances of your cultures help keep you separated because you give them far greater importance than you give your deeper beings. Shape or form has been deemed more important than the essence of your subtle nature. For the powers in control, this emphasis on differences of form constitutes a bulwark against any form of positive change. Now you are being called on to overcome the identification with form while still respecting it for its richness and beauty. Understanding the consciousness behind form allows us to love all humans in their diversity. Peace does not mean simply not making war. It consists in becoming what you collectively are in reality, a fraternity. The solutions available to achieve this are decreasing, but one that could still catalyze it would be open contact with another race that would reflect the image of what you are in a deeper reality. Except for rare occasions, our past interventions intentionally had very little influence on your capacity to make collective and individual decisions about your own future. This was motivated by our knowledge of your deep psychological mechanisms. We reached the conclusion that freedom is built every day as a being becomes aware of himself and of his environment, getting progressively rid of constraints and inertias, whatever they may be. However, despite the actions of numerous brave and willing human souls, those inertias have been successfully maintained to the benefit of a growing centralized power. And with that, I'm going to take a break, and the following video hopefully will be more headed towards a conclusion of it. All right, look, peace and love, and just giving some of the stuff that's given to me to pass on to you, and concern for humanity, especially as a whole. Hey, God bless. Cosmic Charlie saying, peace and love.